Okay, so hey guys, welcome to my 30 minutes speaking for today. But before that, I'm gonna open the Google Meet for checking my pronunciation. Alright, it's pretty good, right? I'm gonna go here, just turn it off. Sure now, turn it off, turn on caption. Alright, pretty good. Um, uh, Actually, I have to go there to take my pen. Alright, so I'm back. I just take my pen and then I'm gonna put it in my mouth. And I got it, and I got it the speaking document from Miss Water, from Mr. Water. So I'm gonna read. This story, this short story, as I'm holding the pen on my mouth. When I'm holding the pen, inside my mouth. So when I am holding the pen inside my mouth, when I am holding the pen inside my mouth. Alright, so let's do it. The silent couple. There was once a young man who was said to be the most stubborn person in town, and a young woman who was said to be the most stubborn woman in town. And of course, they somehow managed to fall in love and get married. After the wedding ceremony, they had a big party in the house, which lasted all day. Eventually, all the friends and relatives could eat no more, and one by one they all went home. The bridge and the groom from exhaustion, collapsed from exhaustion. The boss sat down to big comfortable chairs and started to relax. When the husband noticed that the last guest to leave had not shut the door after him. "My dear," he said, "would you mind getting up and shutting the door? There's a draft coming in." "Why should I shut it?" yawned the wife. "I've been on my feet all night and I just sat down. You shut it." "So that's the way it's going to be?" "So that's the way it's gonna be?" snapped the husband. "Just as soon as you get a ring on your finger, you turn into a lazy good-for-nothing?" "How dare you!" shouted the wife. "We haven't even been married a day, and already you're calling me names and ordering me around. I should have known this is kind of husband you would turn out to be." "Nah, nah, nah," trembled the husband. "Must I listen to the com- complaining forever? And must I always listen to the complaining and whining? Complaining, to, to the complaining and forever? And must I always listen to the complaining and whining?" asked the wife. They sat glaring at each other for a full 5 minutes. Then an idea popped into the wife's head. "My dear," the wife said, "neither of us wants to shut the door, and both of us are tired of hearing the other's voice. Should I propose? Should I propose a contest? The one who speaks first must get up and shut the door." "It's the best idea I've heard all day, replied husband. Let us begin now. So they made themselves comfortable on a chair. They sat face to face without saying a word. They had been that way for about 2 hours, when a couple of ships with a cart passed by and saw the door open. They crept into the house, which seemed perfectly deserted, and began to steal everything they could lay their hands on. They took tables, chairs, poor paintings on the wall, and even a lot of cabbage of the walls, and even a lot of cabbage. Also, they saw the husband and the wife remained silent. I can't believe this, thought the husband. They'll tell everything we own, and she won't make a sound. Why doesn't he call for help? The wife silently asked herself. Is he, is he just going to sit there while they do whatever they want? Eventually, the ships noticed the silence, motionless couple and mistaking them for vast figures. Took them for their jewelry, watches, wallets, and cell phones. All doing this, neither husband or wife moved or made a sound. The ships hurried away with a look, and the silent couple sat through the night. At dawn, the policeman walked by the house and noticed the open door. He stuck his head through the open doorway and yelled, "Oi, oi, oi! What's going on here? Is everything okay?" But of course, neither husband or wife made a sound. "Now see here," yelled the policeman. "I'm an officer of law. Who are you? Is this your house? What happened to all the furniture?" And still getting no response from the silent couple, the policeman raised his hand to box the man's ears. "Don't you dare!" snapped the wife, jumping to her feet. That's my new husband, and if you lay a finger on him, you have me to answer too." "I won't," yelled the husband, slapping his hands and jumping about. "Now go shut the door." Alright. So it is pretty good, right? So now I'm gonna take this man off and then I'm gonna speak it again. The silent couple. There was once a young man who was said to be the most stubborn person in town, and a young woman who was said to be the most stubborn woman in town. And of course, somehow they managed to fall in love and get married. After the wedding ceremony, they had a big party in the house, which lasted all day. Eventually, all the friends and relatives could eat no more, and one by one they all went home. The, the, the bride and groom, yeah, the bridge, the bride, the bride, the, the bride and groom collapsed from exhaustion. Um, and they both sat down onto a big comfortable chairs and started to relax. When the husband noticed that the last guest to leave had not shut the door after him. "My dear," he said, "would you mind getting up and shutting the door? There's a draft coming in." "Why should I shut it?" yelled the wife. "I've been on my feet all day and it just sat down. You shut it." So that's the way it's going. So that's the way it's gonna be. Snapped, 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 snapped the husband. "Just as soon as you get the ring on your finger, you turn into a lazy good for nothing." How dare you, shouted the wife. We haven't even been married a day, and already you are calling me names and ordering me around. I should have known this is the kind of husband you would turn out to be. Na na na, grumbled and the husband. Must I listen to your complaining? Or forever? And must I always listen to your complaining and whining? Asked the wife. They sat glaring, they sat glaring, they sat glaring at each other for a full 5 minutes. Then an idea popped into the wife's head. My dear, the wife said, neither of us wants to shut the door, and both of us are tired of hearing the other's voice, so I propose a context. The one who speaks first must get up and shut the door. And shut the door. It's the best idea I've heard all day. Uh, let, let us let us begin now. So they made themselves comfortable, each on a chair, and sat face to face without saying a word. And sat face to face without saying a word. They had been that way for about 2 hours, when a couple of thieves with a cart passed by and saw the door open. They crept into the house, which seemed perfectly deserted, and began to steal everything they could lay their hands on. They took tables and chairs, pulled paintings off the walls, and even rolled up of the walls, and even rolled up carpets. All through this talk, the husband and wife remained silent. I can't believe this, thought the husband. They'll take everything we own, and she won't make a sound. Why doesn't he call for help? The wife silently asked herself. Is he just going to sit there while they steal whatever they want? Eventually, the thieves noticed the silent, motionless couple and mistaking them for wax figures, stripped them for their jewelry, watches, wallets, and cell phones. All during this, neither husband or wife moved or made a sound. The thieves hurried away with the loot, and the silent couple sat through the night. At dawn, the policeman walked by the house and noticed the open door. He stuck his head in through the open doorway and yelled, Oi, 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 what's going on here? Is everything okay? But, of course, neither husband or wife made a sound. Now see here, yelled the policeman. I am an officer of the law. Who are you? Is this your house? What's happened to all your furniture? And still getting no response from the silent couple, the policeman raised his hand to box the man's ears. Don't you dare, said the wife, jumping to her feet. That's my new husband. If you lay a finger on him, you have to answer. You have me to answer too. I won't, yelled the husband, clapping his hands, and jumping about. Now we'll shut the door. So that is the difference between me when I holding this pen inside my mouth when I speak it, and when I put this pen away and I speak it. So that is the difference between me that at that time and me now. Uh, so now let's move to the next part. I'm not sure like what I want to do next, but not just say everything I want or some stuff like that. Maybe I want to read this one again, or just make everything I want, because I still have some time. I can do whatever I want. So just do what I want, do what I want, and just be free of it. All right. So, uh, here I'm gonna say that my English it has improved a lot for the next actually 1 week. Like I can feel familiar with the English accent, and I can speak fluently, and I can speak fluently. Mm, so I can feel more confident, when I speak with the girls or my friends or my male friend in class, because if I can improve my English, so I can so I'm gonna find it easier when I form the social bonds. Okay. So I'm with them for now. I can improve my English stuff. I can make myself be a better version of myself in the past. Actually, in the past, 1 week. Me like with me of the last 1 month and me at the beginning, it's gonna be huge difference between that. And me now compared to me at the last one month, it still be a huge difference between that. Because I can hold this pen inside my mouth, but I can speak. And this Google Meet is it brings out like actually 70% like what I have said. So I feel confident and familiar, brave when I do this. So I don't have to be shy and nervous when I speak with my friend, because when I speak with them I feel a little bit scared and nervous, with shy inside in my heart. Like I'm going that they not understand what I'm saying and just bored. If I say again and again it's for 7 times, they're not gonna understand. They're not gonna understand what am I saying. So I feel bored, sad. But now I can improve my English. So now I can make them. I can make them understand what I say, and I can believe in myself more. Okay, so that is the huge change after the last 1 month and actually 1 week. Alright, so now I'm gonna read this one again. Which one in the pen in my mouth and the one the pen is off my mouth. So let's do it. There was once a young man who was said to be the most stubborn person in town, and a young woman who was said to be the most stubborn woman in town. And of course, they somehow managed to fall in love and get married. After the wedding ceremony, they had a big party in their house, which lasted all day. Eventually, all the friends and relatives could eat no more, and one by one, they all went home. The, the bride and groom collapsed from exhaustion, and the boys sat down onto a big comfortable chair and started to relax. When the husband noticed that the last guest to please had not shut the door after him. My dear, he said, would you mind getting up and shutting the door? There's a draft coming in. Why should I shut it? You're the wife. I've been on the seat all day and I just sat down. You shut it. So that's the way it's gonna be? Snapped the husband. Just as soon as you get a ring on your finger, you turn into a lazy, good for nothing. How dare you, shouted the wife. We haven't even been married a day, and already you're calling me names and ordering me around. I should have known this is kind of husband you would turn out to be. Nah, 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 grumbled the husband. Must I listen to the complaining forever? And must I always listen to the complaining and whining? Asked the wife, complaining. They sat staring at each other for a full 5 minutes. Then the idea popped into the wife's head. Popped, popped into the wife's head. My dear, the wife said, neither of us wants to shut the door, and both of us are tired of hearing the other's voice. So I propose a contest. The one who speaks first will get up and shut the door. It's the best idea I've heard all day, replied the husband. Let us begin now. So they made themselves comfortable in on a chair and sat face to face without saying a word. They had been that way for about 2 hours when a couple of trips with a cat passed by and saw the door open. They crept into the house, which seemed perfectly deserted and began to steal everything they could lay their hands on. They took tables and chairs, put paintings of the world on the walls, and even sort of carpet. Also they saw. The husband and wife remained silent. I can't believe this, thought the husband. They'll take everything we own and she won't make a sound. Why doesn't he go for help? The wife suddenly asked herself. Is he just going to sit there while he do whatever he wants? Eventually, the Seals noticed the silence. Most of the couple may mistaken them for white figures, stripped at them for their jewelry, watches, wallets, and cell phones. All during this neither husband or wife moved or made a sound. The Seals hurried away with a look, and the silent couple sat through the night. After a policeman walked by the house and knocked the open door. He stuck his head in through the open door and yelled. The open doorway and yelled, "Oi, oi, oi! What's going on here? Is everything okay?" But of course, neither husband or wife made a sound. "Now see here," yelled the policeman. "I'm an officer of the law. Who are you? It is your house. What happened to all the furniture?" And still getting no response from the silent couple. The policeman raised his hand to the box man's ears. "Don't you dare!" said the wife, jumping to her feet. "That's my new husband, and you still lay a finger on him. You help me to answer too." "I won't," yelled the husband, clapping his hands and jumping about. "Now we'll shut the door." There was once a young man who was said to be the most stubborn person in town, and a young woman who was said to be the most stubborn woman in town. And of course, they somehow managed to fall in love and get married. After the wedding ceremony, they had a big party in a house, which lasted all day. Eventually, all the friends and relatives could eat no more, and one by one, they all went home. The bride and groom collapsed from exhaustion, and they both sat down onto a big comfortable chairs and started to relax. When the husband noticed that the last guest to leave had not shut the door after him. "My dear," he said, "would you mind getting up and shutting the door? There's a draft coming in." "Why should I shut it?" yelled the wife. "I've been on my feet all day and I just sat down." "You shut it." So that's so that so that's the way it's going. So that's the way it's going.
So that's the way it's gonna be. Snapped the husband. Just as soon as you get a ring on your finger, you turn into a lazy good for nothing. How dare you, shouted the wife. We haven't even been married a day, and already you're calling me names and ordering me around. I should have known this is the kind of husband you would turn out to be. Nah, 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 grumbled the husband. Must I listen to your complaining forever? And must I always listen to your complaining and whining? Asked the wife. They sat glaring at each other for a full 5 minutes. Then an idea popped into the wife's head. My dear, the wife said, neither of us wants to shut the door, and both of us are trying to hearing the other's voice. So I propose a contest. The one who speaks first must get up and shut the door. It's the best idea I've heard all day, replied the husband. Let us begin now. So they made themselves comfortable, each on a chair, and sat face to face without saying a word. They had been there for about 2 hours when a couple of thieves with a cart passed by and saw the door open. They crept into the house, which seemed perfectly deserted, and began to steal everything they could lay their hands on. They took tables and chairs, pulled paintings off the walls, and even rolled up carpets. And even rolled up carpets. And even rolled up. And even rolled up carpets. And even rolled up carpets. And even rolled up carpets. All through this talk, the husband and wife remained silent. I can't believe this, thought the husband. They'll take everything we own, and she won't make a sound. Why doesn't he call for help? The wife suddenly asked herself. Is he just going to sit there while they steal whatever they want? Eventually the thieves noticed the silent, motionless couple and mistaking them for wax figures, stripped at them for their jewelry, watches, wallets, and cell phones. And all during this neither husband or wife moved or made a sound. The thieves hurried away with the loot, and the silent couple sat through the night. After all, a policeman walked by a house and noticed the open door. He stuck his head in through the open doorway and yelled, Oi, what's going on here? Is everything okay? But of course, neither husband or wife made a sound. Now see here, yelled the policeman. I am an officer of law. Who are you? It is your house. What happened to all your furniture? And still getting no response from the silent couple, the policeman raised his hand to box the man's ears. Don't you dare, sneaked the wife, jumping to her feet. That's my new husband, and if you lay a finger on him, you have me to answer too. I won't, yelled the husband, clapping his hands, and jumping about. Now go shut the door. 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 Alright, so I finished it, right? And now I have a couple of words to say to myself before I end this 30-minute speaking. That is, if you want to do something, you have to do it. You have to get out and do it. Never give up. You can move around. You can move around. You can get your deadline longer, but never ever give up. This is the famous quote from Donald Trump.
uh, the person which I really admired from this quote: never ever give up. Alright, so mostly it's 30 minutes now. So bye guys, I hope you have a good day and you have to go downstairs. I'll see you in the 20 minutes French speaking. Okay, bye.